I love glass bottles and jars, and I love recycling ones after I've used what's inside them. It's so fast and simple, and glass is so much better to use than plastic. Plus, you're recycling, so it's good for the environment. Let me show you how I do it. So these are two really cool bottles that I want to save. And all I did was fill them up with a little bit of hot water so that they don't float. And I'm going to submerge them in a pot that has hot water and 1 cup of white vinegar. So between the hot water and the white vinegar, I'm hoping that we're going to dissolve the glue that's on these labels very easily. And we're going to let them sit here for about an hour or two. I'm actually going to go out now, so I'll come back in a couple of hours and check them. And hopefully the labels will peel off really easily. So I want you to take a look at this. I didn't realize this when I put these in here, but this bottle has a foil label on it. Can you see that? Can you see that? And normally when it's a foil or a plastic label, they can be pretty difficult to remove, because what happens is the label comes off and the glue stays behind. And that's exactly what's happening here, but I'm not concerned because I can see how the glue is lifting right now. And I credit the vinegar to that because it starts to dissolve the glue. I've got one on the back also. I'm gonna do the same thing here. And it really just is peeling away so easily. That's so satisfying. And I'm gonna put this back inside the water. And I wanna just show you though, I took 2 regular jars that have paper labels because these are the ones that are more common. And these literally have been in this water for 5 minutes. But look at this. Look at how easily the majority of this label has just peeled right away. And like I said, they've only been in this water for about 5 minutes. And if I would have left them for even a half an hour, which is what I'll do with the other one so I can show you, this probably would have come off in one piece. In fact, there's times where I've come back and the label is literally floating inside the pot, which is really cool. So I'm gonna put this one back, but I wanna show you what happens when the glue does what it did on this bottle here. And to show you that, I have to empty the water out of it. So I'm gonna empty the water out. And then I'm gonna grab just a straight edge razor that I have. Very simple straight edge razor that you can get for $2 in any paint department at either Home Depot, Lowe's, or any of those home stores. And I'm just gonna dry the part that I wanna remove the glue off. And with this razor, I'm just basically going to scrape. And it'll get to a point where it's all collected in one spot. Hope you can see that good. And it's gonna take a couple of minutes, and that's okay. I don't mind because honestly, if you can even find these bottles, I'm gonna say that they probably cost about $2 or $3 a piece, especially these. These have this resealable lid on them. And so these are great, like if you like to make Irish cream around the holidays, or you make homemade wine, or really anything at all, storing sangria in the refrigerator. And I'm just going to continue to scrape, but you see how easy this is? I can scrape from the top too. Just about there. Now keep in mind, I'm holding this at a very awkward position so that you guys can see what's going on. So normally I would hold it towards me. I would have a towel underneath me so I don't accidentally bang it on the counter. You definitely want to do that. And now you see there's still a little bit of glue here, not a big deal. I'm going to put that back in the water. I need to put water in it again so that it doesn't float. And I'm just going to stand it back up in the water. I'm gonna give it a few more minutes. And you know, listen, this is a labor of love. Like I said, I love to save these bottles. I like the fact that they are reducing the amount of waste that goes in a landfill, and they're being recycled. And so the extra couple of minutes it takes, it really doesn't bother me because I'm left with some really cool containers that I can reuse over and over again. So let's give this a few more minutes, and then I'm going to come back and show you, especially these jars with the paper lids, with the paper labels, how well they're doing. They've only been in there about 10 minutes now, and I can already see them starting to peel away. So I think in a few minutes we might actually just be able to remove them without any effort at all. I think we are ready. So this is the bottle that I peeled the label off of, and there was some glue left behind, and we scraped away the glue with my straight edge razor. And I added some more warm water to here, to the pot that these were in, because I just want to show you how once the water gets warm and still with that vinegar in there, it makes it so much easier to just get the last few pieces of glue off of here. And I'm actually going to grab my magic eraser, and you can use a sponge also. You don't have to only use a magic eraser, but I find that the magic eraser, it just offers a certain amount of friction, and it literally just peels. Can you see that? How it literally is just peels those last pieces of glue off of there. And that's it. It's that simple. Look at that. Done. This bottle is now completely label free. And like I said, you can use it for so many different things. So let's see how the glass jar with the paper came out. Now this was the first one that I pulled off after it just being in the water for a few minutes. And look at how easy this comes off. This is a no-brainer. No-brainer. I'm just going to do that really quickly. And then, look at that. It comes right off. Glue, label, everything. And this is typical of the type of label you're going to find on most jars. This foil label on this glass bottle was a little fancy. I guess the winery that bottled it spared no expense and using the fancy labels, but you're going to find in the grocery store, you're not going to find those fancy labels. So I'm just going to put that back in there, and then I'll go back and wipe off the residual of the glue. But I want to show you, this now has been sitting for about, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes. And like I said, this label is so soft. Look at that. I literally can just peel this off with my finger, but I'll use the straight edge just because it's so much faster. Look at that. Normally what I do when I'm washing dishes, I will stand this all by itself. And again, depends on the label. You don't always need the vinegar, but I do that just because I never know what kind of label, what kind of glue is holding that label on. But look at that. It's perfect. It's going to go back in the water. And I'm going to take them out in a minute and just wash them off. And we'll do a quick recap. This is the second bottle from the winery that had that foil label on there, which, like I said, it's a really cool label. And this one's been sitting same amount of time. Let's see, I'll just lift this here. Perfect. Look how easy that came off. And then the same thing with this one. And I'm just going to put it back in there. It's still warm, so I'm going to put it back in there. I guess I'm going to put a little bit of water so that it doesn't float away. Easy enough. Okay, so let me get my label mess cleaned up over here, and let me get these last few jars pulled and wiped down, and I'll show you how they came out. Our bottles are done. They've been washed and dried, and I just want to show you how really nice they came out. Look at this. And these I'm so very excited about. I might even take a stab this year at making some type of Irish cream or maybe some coquito around the holidays. And these would be great gift bottles. You just have to make your own label for them, and they really would make wonderful gifts for anyone. These are the lids to these jars, and you could use hot glue around the edges, and then you can attach some really pretty fabric and a ribbon, and then the lid would go back on, and you can put anything in here. Let me show you some of the things that I use them for. So these are some glazed pecans. That would make a wonderful gift if you were to make a big batch of these. And then, like I said, you just put a little bit of hot glue around the outside, cover it with a pretty fabric, a ribbon, and a nice label, and you have a wonderful gift that anyone would be happy to get. For those of you who may bulk bin shop, which I do, I like to use these when I get home. I'll take them out of the little plastic bags, or sometimes you get stuff like this in these containers. I have some granola here that came that way, and then I just come home and I put it in one of my jars. I store some, you know, these are bay leaves, so I store some herbs and dried herbs and whatnot in there. These are some chia seeds. I make my salad dressing in a bottle like this, and then I just shake it up and I keep it in the closet and I use it as I need it. Sometimes what I'll do too, if you bulk bin shop, I intentionally cut the label off of the, you know, the barcode label when they ring you up, and I just stuck it on here so I knew what it was. Sometimes I'll cut the label and I'll just slide it onto the inside so I know what it is. This one here, this is holding my air plant, and it gives it nice height so it gets light from the windowsill. And it just sits there. It's kind of decorative. You can fill this with, you know, rocks if you want, or marbles, or colored glass, sea glass, anything. The possibilities really are limitless. So do yourself a favor. Recycle jars. You saw how fast it was. For those of you who craft, there's so many different uses for these jars. And for those of you who just want to have some inexpensive recycled containers for your food, this is definitely the way to go. Let us know what you like to use your recycled jar for. Drop a note down below. Let us know you were here. Make sure you come and visit us on social media. We're Aunt Susie's Kitchen on Facebook, Aunt Susie's Kitchen on Instagram, and of course here on my YouTube channel, we are Aunt Susie's Kitchen. Thank you so much for coming back and visiting with us. We have a really big amount of videos that we are looking to do this year, and we are hoping to get feedback from everyone so that we're constantly posting things that you're interested in, interaction, maybe do some giveaways this year and some contests, and just really do what makes you feel good, and that is take care of your home, your family, and each other. So, ciao for now. Make sure you come back and see us again, because there's always something good cooking in Aunt Susie's Kitchen.